Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of the Angrynator-show. Today, we are talking about cheap knockoffs. No! Yes, I'm afraid so. And even worse, it's Phase 4 Films knockoffs. Yeah. If you don't know who or what Phase 4 Films is, then let me give you a brief introduction.
Phase 4 Films is literally the pinnacle of lazy film production. They look at commercials about the next blockbuster hit and then create their own version of that movie. Usually they go for animated movies and rip those off, or they simply create their own like Rockstars or Disco Worms as it is called in some countries.
And they usually suck.
They even made Pop, a movie I did a review on. I swear I just realized that.
Or was that movie called Black to the Moon? Or was it Pop in Black? Whatever, man.
The point is, they take a bunch of big hits and turn them into crap. Or turn crap into crap like Norm of the North.
Basically, steer clear of these movies. And also this one, which is called Life's a Jungle.
Yep, it's time to review yet another dog-related movie, also by the grand company of Phase 4 Films. Is there anything they can't do? Apart from making a cat movie. And I think we all should feel lucky that they can't. This steaming pile of dog poo, believe me, that's pretty accurate. It's a cheap knockoff of Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. Since I live in Europe, it's odd that I haven't seen that movie before. Anyway, even though I haven't seen Madagascar before, it doesn't really matter since the only comparison is the name.
Well, let's just start the movie.
We start with the glorious logo of Phase 4 Films. Great, now we know who to sue for our bleeding eyes and ears. And I kid you not, we have 2 whole minutes of nothing but wasteland, in bird's perspective. Finally we have done with that, and get to see our main protagonist.
Our hero, everybody, spends about 30 seconds slapping a fly. Yeah, that's great writing.
Oh yeah, he follows those dog slap effects, you know, those really bad ones even I use. Oh, and also this one.
And believe me, he says that throughout the entire fucking movie.
Also, look at the graphics. Now look at Madagascar.
Rip off my ass. I know they just try to make money on popular movies, but look at the difference. You have to be unborn in order to find this appealing.
Anyway, it seems that this lifeless doll that just entered the scene is the master of Pip, which is the name of the dog, by the way. He wants Pip to go safari hunting with him and the family. And believe me, they actually have about 5 or 10 minutes with no music. Barely any ambience apart from stock birds and a truckload of...
Yeah, about 10 minutes of this. Riveting, I tell you. Give them a Grammy.
Anyway, after a while, seriously, even the kid is so bored to death that he doesn't even realize the rhino coming at them at full speed.
Though, if you had been like 2 inches closer, it would have been believable that you actually hit the car.
Also, the family really doesn't care about this as they casually move on with their lives. Well, all except Pip who, well...
is dreaming of taking a steaming pile of shit. Yeah, it's one of those movies. Remember Hugh from Pew from Pop? Yeah, apparently Phase 4 Films likes shit. And to show that the movies are so as well.
Oh yeah, by the way, this toilet scene is a dream. A dream that takes yet again about 10 minutes or so.
If you can't write 100 minutes of content, then why not shorten it down to 50 minutes? Oh, who are we kidding? Teen Titans Go has a more in-depth story than this. And that shit is like 10 minutes or 5 actually, but you get the drill.
Oh, and also, the scene has a cat.
Because it's not dragged out enough, am I right?
So Pip wakes up only to realize he's in the middle of the jungle, being attacked by the Angela App Cat reject.
Yeah, you know it's shit when you are a reject of one of the more controversial apps out there.
Like most dogs, Pip decides to chase it. This is Pasha, an alone mother, and why do I say that? Because if they ever decided to make a sequel, she would probably be the wife of Pip. A scary thought, I know. Anyway, after, well, Basia being confused out of her mind, Pip manages to walk casually away without being chased, only to meet two hyenas.
I'm being chased by the biggest black cat I've ever seen.
No, as we saw, that was not the case.
Well, as Pip asked, the hyenas doesn't abandon him, they in fact help him to get on his feet by using him. For instance, Pip has to get some fish from a basket near Crocodile Den. Who knows who put it there? Who cares anyway? Well, Pip fails to do so by a...
I got us a...
Really unrealistic bird, I might say.
Being down on his failure, the hyenas tries to cheer him up, and therefore they give him steak.
Oh no, steak tartare. I don't eat red meat. It's bad for the arteries.
Bitch of a dog is bitch of a dog.
By the way, he's supposed to be the likable protagonist, but all he has done up until this point is just to whine and be obnoxious.
So really, it would be the same if Star Wars made a series about Ewoks. In a way they did that. Okay, bad example. Okay, it would be the same if Princess Peach started her own video game and all she did was crying. Oh wait, they did that too. Well, I got nothing. The world is just shit.
Well, after that failed attempt, the family finally realizes that Pip is gone. By the way, isn't there something wrong with the driver? Almost like he has no arms.
I would say that he isn't human. But then again, none of the humans looks like actual humans.
Well, seeing that Pip failed the assignment, as the hyenas called it, he's therefore sentenced to sleep on the top of a steep hill with a rock for a pillow, with incorporated stock sound effects. Here, Pip dreams of his former life, filled with massage, pedicure, and of course, kung fu.
I believe that this is yet another Phase 4 film that tried to be sneaky and incorporated in this movie as a sneak peek. Well, guess what? It doesn't work.
The dream even includes two painfully overused jokes about dog owners. Meanwhile, or should I say a completely different time, yeah, time is not well explained in this. We see the mansion the family lives in, with everything included, even a painfully visible skybox.
It's just too dangerous to search at night.
The next day, the hyenas is having a laugh at Pip.
Yeah, you know how it goes. The dog gets poop in face. What is it with Phase 4 films and their fascination with shit? You know, if you didn't include these kind of scenes, your movies might not reflect it nearly as much. Great scene, guys. Good job.
Now I've got to clean up this poopy face.
Poopy face. Can you sound more gay?
Well, anyway, he makes it down to the waterhole, which of course is guarded by the Rhino Gang, where they have a hilarious caviar joke.
Yeah.
Oh, you shut it. You just covered your entire face with poopy hands.
We also get treated to a rather strange rescue scene. Followed by, well, this.
Another rescue scene with annoying music and stuck baby sounds. Just amazing. Another Grammy.
Oh, and also Rhino from Spider-Man apparently.
Next time, keep her on a leash.
To be honest, would you prefer this Rhino over that mech suit they used in Amazing Spider-Man?
Well, Rhino's answer to anything he doesn't like is...
And is that spelled A-R-G-H or Y-E-A-R-G-H?
After the beginning of the arc, we have a backstory funny enough without any flashbacks.
They lost Kali's papa not too long ago. He got captured by some big game hunters.
Who apparently got shipped to Iceland.
Which is also why she hates men apparently.
Oh, that's it? That's the story. To be honest, I might have made that last part up, you know, just to keep my brain a tiny bit entertained.
Kill me.
Oh yeah, the touching scene ends with toe sucking.
because they're just so desperate at getting in a joke that actually works. Oh, how they try ever so hard.
And then the movie suddenly turns into a video game. I mean, we meet the townspeople, there's only 2, yeah I know. Anyway, the whole scene where we meet...
whatever that is, and...
You're gonna like it here too. Can I offer you anything? A piece of fruit?
feels like that mandatory tutorial part of any video game. You know, maybe they should start making video games instead. It could work. Oh wait, they did. It's called Phoenix Games.
The only thing that might make you chuckle, in lack of better material of course, this sloth is named Flash and moves in slow-mo, speed-up thingamajig.
Yeah, that is the only remotely funny part of this movie.
There's also a bird, but to be honest, I don't think he lived there. Anyway, they all told Pip about a way to get back to the human world.
You don't want to go there. Where there's humans, there's usually trouble.
Yes, man, always on the brink of evil. You thought Superman was good? Yeah, mighty good hunter he is. Man, the root of evil.
Somehow I feel like somebody has made that gag before.
Anyway, they tell him it's not a good idea to cross the savannah. And like any other invisible wall, that's not an actual invisible wall in video games. Like Ratchet and Clank have a fish that swallows you. This movie, on the other hand, has a...
I'm going to...
bird.
Yeah, a motherfucking bird.
Oh, and also his friends is...
Don't do it. Stop, Pip. You're not gonna make it.
Casually standing right in the open telling him how bad an idea this is. You see, this is why I believe this is game mechanics. Because if they ventured like 2 inches further ahead, the bird would get them. But since they are in the safe zone, they are... well, safe.
After that we have like 10 minutes of American football they call gourd.
Wow, pretty damn fast for a sloth.
After the riveting idea of gourd, Pip introduces the entire Jungle Crew to golf.
So wait just 1 minute. We went from a safari movie to a lost movie to a bro trip movie to a short romance movie to a fucking sports movie? What the hell, man? Just pick a topic or 2 and be done with it.
It's insane how many genres they try to cram into this movie. Oh yeah, after the golfing scene we have yet another toilet humor scene.
This is just stupid as all hell. I have nothing to say about it. The only thing I can slightly compare it to is Pop 2012, and we all know that is a steaming pile of shit. It's really bad when the only thing comparable is almost worse.
Anyway, in order to prove his worth and get the other animals' acceptance, he creates a plan to get water from that dirty mud hole that roaring rhino lives in.
And by plan, I mean use the only bird in the entire jungle who cannot fly to soar through the sky, swoop down and get some water from the rhino gang.
Yep, you guessed it. This bird cannot fly. This is never mentioned before and will never be mentioned again. Because he teaches the damn thing to fly. Yes, a dog teaching a bird how to fly. You know those movies where they create miracles where people can suddenly walk after a major paralyzation? Yeah, this is even dumber.
Anyway, the plan actually goes surprisingly well. Well, that is until... wow. Kind of gruesome, isn't it? No, the only time the movie could have been slightly better, it decides to pussy out.
Imagine in Lion King that famous scene where Simba's dad dies. Imagine if it goes like this.
Dad, come on. You gotta get up. Dad, we gotta go home.
I'm alive, my son. I was just pulling your leg all along.
Yeah, not quite as big an impact, right?
Oh well, after the hyenas is done teaching him a lesson, they howl at the moon.
Yeah, because hyenas are known for doing that.
The very next day, seriously, how many days has this movie been through already? Well, Pip creates a pipeline of bamboo, which I don't think is native to Africa. At least not this type of bamboo. Well, he creates a working pipeline that sucks water from the pond to the newly made reservoir.
Or whatever the hell you would call it.
Now all the animals except Pip, and they party.
Yeah, no kidding, they even made a bar. And figured out how to turn water into wine.
The dance scene is as mundane and annoying as you could think. Everybody has like 2 or 3 seconds of looped animation. Seriously, look at that fucking cat.
World of Warcraft called, they want their extremely outdated dance move back.
But meanwhile the animals is getting drunk and whatnot, the Rhino gang discovers the bamboo pipes that they got the water from. And you might guess that the roaring prince himself is not amused. So they decide to trash the place up real good, and I kid you not, take a whiz on the remains.
Blight to the Moon had a similar concept, I'm afraid.
And of course, the other animals blames the dog.
Stupid dog!
I have to say, as little as I like dogs, this is definitely dog abuse.
Seriously, he just tried to help, make countless of plans on how to get the water more safe and efficient. Sure, it failed, but at least he tried. That's more you can say about the fucking rest.
Seriously, these animals are assholes. So Pip decides to leave after getting the cold shoulder from the other animals and instantly gets captured by the Rhino gang, who decides to roast him.
Wait, what? Roast him? What the hell, are they going to eat him? That's odd, because last time I checked, the rhinoceros was herbivore, not carnivore. How in the world could they fuck up that badly? It's like they never seen animals in real life before. And come to think of it, judging by the designs, I'm guessing that is the case.
But as smart as Pip is, he quickly discovers the rhinos doesn't have girlfriends to cook and clean for them.
Now, if you will excuse me. It's not my opinion, it is indeed the movie's.
Yeah, apparently the whole gang wants some girls to join in on their man cave. But the leader, Rorenstein, I can't be bothered with his actual name, will not allow it.
We don't need girlfriends.
After Pip manages to escape, we have a lonely flashback scene with all the happy memories of him and the other animals.
Yeah, it's rather short as you might have imagined.
And wouldn't you know it, Pip makes his way to the female rhinos.
Yeah, apparently we saw these in the beginning as well, you know, to make the movie more whole and engaging.
We don't need any men around here. In fact, we are anti-men.
Okay, is this some sort of anti-relationship movie? No, not the whole anti-women men part, no, the stigma they put on the genders. Women tie these things up, men is strong and can protect.
Seriously, is this movie made in the 50s? Well, judging by the animation, I would say yeah, it is. Only problem. CG was better in the 50s, and that wasn't even invented yet.
Anyway, Pip arranges a meeting with the rhinos and it turns out, okay, they even make a nightclub for rhino gang members only.
Yeah, apparently Pip is a big turncoat, but judging by how the other animals treated him, who can really blame him?
Speaking of the rest, they finally figured out that they like Pip and is sad that he got captured. And decides to make a rescue attempt, which of course backfires and they end up joining the party, you know, because being in a relationship apparently makes you a nice person. We have a small bickering scene about the crocodiles. And then the owners comes to get Pip back.
I finally found you. Come on, Pip, let's go.
So happy ending for all, I guess. Except that Pip decides to stay in the wilderness with all the animals that just mere hours ago hated him. But because the panther cub called him Dada instead of father, he decides they are all nice people.
And well, that's the end of Life's a Jungle, Africa's Most Wanted.
It's clearly a shitty movie, even if you don't look at all the poop jokes. They clearly only care about profit and wants to cash in on the latest trend, which was Madagascar 3 at the time. The animation is horrendous, the CG is terrible, feels like Toy Story in the first movie, just worse. Let me explain. If this movie came out about the same time as Toy Story, it would still be bad, but since it would be one of the first CG animated movies, you could appreciate it a bit more. Now the movie came out about 15 years later and it should really show, but it didn't. The voice acting is non-existent, they went with every single first take possible. The cut and editing is Man, don't get me started. The sound effects, yeah, even that is terrible. I mean, it's free stock sound effects that anybody can use. Hell, give me 2 months of animation crash course and I alone could make something similar to this. And that is with zero experience beforehand. The movie sucks. The story is just terrible. At first, it feels like this safari hunt adventure kind of flick, then it turns into Lost. And then it turns into that bro trip kind of movie like Emperor's New Groove. And then it turns into good guys versus bad guys. Then a freaking dance movie. And then it turns into some sort of Desperate Housewives things. It's all over the place. Would it entertain children? Probably. Should they watch it? Hell no. All the fart and shit jokes alone should make you avoid this movie at all costs.
And that is a perfect expression of the movie. It's shitty. I'm the Angrynator terminating bad movies for your entertainment.